Make sure you're subscribed to Jerkrispy.
How much for free? All right. What's up, y'all? Show some most estimate. Crispy, welcome back to another video. Every crazy DreamWorks movie theory that might actually be true, explained in 15 minutes. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, follow our social media. And, do pop on the screen on the road to 500. If you want more stuff like this, let me know.
Earth,
In the comments
where magic
below.
has replaced
On the road to
technology.
500.
Modern elements throughout the film suggest technology disguised as medieval fantasy. Technology. Modern elements. One of the most elaborate DreamWorks theories suggests that the entire Shrek universe isn't medieval fantasy at all. It's actually set in a post-apocalyptic future Earth, where magic has replaced technology. Modern elements throughout the film suggest technology disguised as medieval fantasy. Farquaad's emblem bears striking resemblance to what would later become a design similar to the Facebook logo, sparking internet debate about the visual connection. Magic mirrors function like computers with artificial intelligence sentience, displaying images like screens and responding to commands. Characters use modern phrases despite the medieval setting, including hold the phone, police brutality, and contemporary music with microphones. Duloc features modern turnstiles and other contemporary technology integrated into the fantasy world. Far, Far Away is modeled.
That's crazy. We think that Shrek is really a post-apocalypse and stuff like that. I mean, it gave me a little bit though, because the princess was in a different place, and Shrek did came save her, and then he met Donkey on the way. Then after that, he did get Puss in Boots on the way too in the second movie. That's okay, kind of. That's kind of without the killing though, without just killing that zombie stuff. Without that.
Directly after Hollywood, complete with red carpet entrances, the Burger King logo, and billboards. Singing dolls are shown printing photographs like Polaroid cameras, which would be impossible in an actual medieval context. Background characters wear modern hard hats and construction equipment rather than period-appropriate headwear. This theory transforms Shrek from a simple fairy tale parody into a dystopian science fiction narrative. It reframes the absurdist humor as eerie commentary on how an advanced technological civilization might collapse and rebuild using magic. Every anachronism becomes intentional world-building rather than comedic oversights, suggesting DreamWorks embedded profound themes about technological dependence and societal collapse into a children's movie. Timeline manipulation. A darker theory about Shrek 4 proposes that the fairy godmother didn't just manipulate individual events. She was orchestrating parallel timelines and potentially possessing supernatural knowledge of the future through ancient magic. The fairy godmother appears across multiple Shrek films in ways that suggest knowledge beyond normal understanding. She only materializes if someone cries into her business cards, indicating she actively monitors emotional disturbances and situations across her domain. The theory suggests she deliberately orchestrated Shrek's rescue of Fiona from the film's beginning to gain political influence in Far, Far Away.
Okay, so listen. If she did some shit like that, right? If she did that, why did she didn't want Shrek to marry Fiona? Why she wanted Prince Charming to mess with Fiona and stuff like that the whole time, right? If she knew in the back of her mind that she did that already, did everything, had the Shrek and Donkey went to go fight a dragon and stuff like that, and did all that. Shrek fall in love and stuff like that. Blah 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 blah. Y'all know how the movie go. Why in the second movie? Why she was trying to break him up? I don't know, bro.
Her manipulation extends across multiple characters. She targeted Lord Farquaad, influenced Rumpelstiltskin's decisions, and shaped royal family connections. In Shrek 4, she demonstrates knowledge of prophecies and employs alchemy and ancient...
You mean Shrek 2? Basically. Damn.
ancient magic to predict and reshape futures. The film's time paradox creates multiple parallel universes where different outcomes exist simultaneously. Timeline 1.
Listen, basically it's Shrek in the reverse, basically. So basically Shrek 3 is supposed to be Shrek 1, and Shrek 2 is supposed to be where it's at, right? Excuse me. So basically, Shrek was supposed to meet Fiona in the third movie in a different way, like as ogres and stuff like that. So basically, number 2 is basically explaining how the whole time she was a princess. Okay, and now number 1, she saved Shrek and boom 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 boom. Well, Shrek saved Fiona, and they end up getting married. That's what I think is low key. But in Shrek 3, they said they already had kids and all that other stuff, and blah 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 blah. So switch back to 1 to 3. So I mean, how the way they write it, I mean, is what it is.
The original reality shows Shrek existing and successfully saving Fiona.
Right.
Timeline 2, the alternate reality, shows Shrek never existing because Rumpelstiltskin's contract prevents his birth. Timeline 3, the restructured reality, occurs when the fairy godmother notices the timeline fracture and actively reorders events after discovering the paradox. Harold and Lillian's timeline is altered based on who signs a particular contract, directly changing whether Fiona ever existed. Evidence suggests Rumpelstiltskin made deals with the fairy godmother, implying she controls destiny itself across all potential timelines. This theory elevates the fairy godmother from a cartoon villain to a cosmic entity capable of manipulating reality itself across multiple dimensional branches. It suggests the entire Shrek narrative arc across 4 films might be orchestrated on a scale the characters don't comprehend, raising across 4 films
Go back.
Dimensional branches. It suggests the entire Shrek narrative arc across 4.
And there's a Christmas special. Shrek the Third. Shrek the. Oh, so wait. What was the third? Oh wait, never mind. The third. Oh wait, what? All right, now let me just go back and explain this now. All right, okay, so basically, number 3 is basically number 1. Number 1 is the last one. Number 4 is basically the number 4 is basically the first one when Shrek was lonely. Boom 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 and shit. Number 2 is basically now he finding out that she's a prince. Well, number 1 is basically number 2 because she finding out she's a princess. Number 2 is basically now she finding out that she got a mom and dad and stuff. And number 3 is like the pregnancy and stuff like that. That's how they should have ended off like that. But I don't know.
4 films might be orchestrated on a scale the characters don't comprehend, raising uncomfortable questions about free will, destiny, and whether any character truly makes autonomous decisions. Deliberate betrayal. In How to Train Your Dragon, fans theorize that Toothless didn't accidentally bite off Hiccup's foot. He deliberately amputated it to forge a permanent, unbreakable bond. The films never explicitly explain the mechanism of how Hiccup lost his...
I thought Hiccup lost his foot because him and what's it called? Toothless went to the him and Toothless was fighting that dragon, and then like his foot got kind of stuck in something like that, and it got smushed, and like they had to remake his foot or some stuff like that. I don't know.
His leg. Toothless's jaws closed directly at Hiccup's leg during their climactic first battle with the Red Death.
Yeah.
The theory suggests Toothless acted on animal instinct combined with possessive protectiveness. By permanently removing Hiccup's leg, the two become physically and functionally dependent on one another. Hiccup cannot leave Toothless or survive independently after losing his lower limb. Toothless simultaneously requires Hiccup to control his tail membrane for full flight capability. This creates a mutually dependent, symbiotic relationship stronger than typical dragon rider bonds. Wild animals in nature often form bonds through physical markers and reciprocal interdependence. This theory reframes a tragic moment as potentially strategic animal behavior, motivated by loyalty and the desire for permanent companionship. It suggests Toothless isn't merely a loyal pet, but a calculating creature with agency who ensures permanent bonding through physical necessity. Alpha Dragon. Another How to Train Your Dragon theory explains an important plot gap. Why all wild dragons instantly accepted Toothless as their leader must be because he became the new alpha after defeating the Red Death.
Yep.
Wild dragons had been enslaved and controlled by the Red Death's dominance. When Toothless kills the Red Death in
Red
combat,
Death was like the biggest one. Ain't nobody wanted to step on towards him because anybody thought they could test that man. That man was gonna freaking hit him with a one shot to the dome. That's why he was the biggest dragon out of all of them. And Toothless said, "You know what? Get off the side. It's you. I'm Toothless."
he defeats the dominant alpha of their species. Dragon Pack hierarchy dictates that the strongest dragon assumes leadership of all others. This explains why dragons immediately follow Toothless's commands and accept living alongside humans. Without an alpha successor established, the dragons would remain leaderless and dangerous. This theory fills a significant plot gap that genuinely bothered many viewers.
I'm not gonna hold you. His dad's still wrong what he did, bro. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. That dude, dad, bro. I don't even mess with that man, dad. To this day, he's saying bro, all the trials and tribulation that man had to go through, bro.
Why would dragons who had been enslaved and hunted by humans suddenly trust their former enemies and submit to their commands? By establishing Toothless as the new alpha through combat victory, the theory makes their submission to Hiccup's indirect command logical and inevitable based on dragon biology. Secret mentorship. Fans believe Hiccup's father, Stoic, didn't reject his son's inadequacy. Instead, he secretly orchestrated every obstacle Hiccup faced to deliberately forge him into a capable leader through carefully calibrated challenges. Stoic gives Hiccup control of the dragon training school, knowing it will force him to confront his deepest fears and develop confidence. The outcasts attack the village at perfectly timed intervals, when Hiccup develops new skills. Their leader, Alvin, is Stoic's longtime friend. Dragon trappers appear exactly when Hiccup masters dragon communication skills, offering manageable opposition. Each successive enemy escalates precisely in difficulty, matching Hiccup's growing abilities. The timing pattern suggests political coordination and careful orchestration, rather than random Viking attacks. Stoic originally wanted to be the dragon warrior himself, but failed to achieve that status. By training Hiccup through controlled opposition, Stoic ensures his son becomes the formidable leader and dragon warrior he himself couldn't be. This explains how Hiccup develops from incompetent outcast to formidable warrior so rapidly. This theory transforms Stoic from a dismissive, rejecting father into a strategic mentor, operating in shadows, using apparent distance as a tool for psychological development. It reframes Hiccup's entire journey from accidental growth through circumstances to carefully managed development under paternal guidance. Alex's fever dream. The entire adventure in Madagascar might not be real. It could all be a hallucination, specifically a dying lion's death.
Okay. You're not about to do that because I heard this from TikTok. No. What I think, and I visually think that's what really as a person who love Madagascar and I could sit down and watch this movie over and over again, even number 3, even though I don't like number 3 like that. Let's push up. Let's push off a little bit. Madagascar number 1 have to be, and my guarantee, me back and watching it, it definitely have to be Marty Dream. This has had to be Marty Dream. Marty never left the circus. That's why I feel like they never left the circus. He was imagining the whole time. They went to what was that? The place they went to? It was like when they saw King Julian and all them. Madagascar. Yeah, they went to Madagascar and stuff and saw them demons and stuff like that. I feel like it was the whole time it was a dream. They never met, King Julian and nothing like that. And this whole time, you know. And then the number two is Alex dream. Alex dream is that he see his people again. Cause you know how earlier in the movie at number two, you were watching number two, him and his daddy was like close, you know, and he never paid attention to his dad, cause you know he was just always playing for him like la 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 and stuff. Until them people grabbed him, and then they said, "Daddy!" Blah 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 blah. Nigga, dad was on 4 foot flat. He was like right behind the car. Dude picked up the sniper, pop, hit him in his ear, got him, and then he came back again like a real dad. He is a W dad, as he is. Ran up, broke up the thing, and then they swerved, and he got in the lake. Went in the water and stuff, and allegedly he got in the fish. What I thought was that was just a dream the whole time. Number three, I feel like they had like number three was just something like they just wanted to throw them into like a circus or something like that. That's what I feel like. Number three, I feel like they just wanted to throw them in a circus. I feel like that's nobody dream really. I feel like they just said, you know, hey, we just gonna throw them in the circus for the last one. Like, they should have ended off with number two. To be honest with you, they should have ended off with number two and made number three something better or something like that. I don't know. They need to make a number four low key. I'm not gonna hold you. I sit down and pay for it and go watch that movie about 5 times.
Desperate fantasy during his final moments of consciousness, alone on an unfamiliar island. The opening shows Alex locked in a separate cargo crate, distinctly separated from his companions. When Alex crashes on the island alone, the film explicitly shows him beginning to experience heat-induced hallucinations from starvation and sun exposure. He miraculously encounters Melman immediately after hallucinations begin, despite the earlier scene showing them washed away into completely different ocean currents. The island's central oasis location appears identical to a mural painting from their New York Central Park Zoo. All 4 animals express amazement that this location exists exactly as they had imagined it before the voyage. Their confused reaction to finding it makes logical sense only if the location exists in Alex's mind. It's his mental construction manifesting. The Penguin's takeover of the ship marks the narrative point where the theory proposes reality ends and fantasy begins. Every event after the Penguin ship sequence is presented without establishing shots or external verification. The theory proposes Alex is actually dying alone on a random, unspecific island from starvation and heat exhaustion. As he dies, he fantasizes about reconnecting with his friends and regrets not being more open to new experiences before his final moments. This theory transforms Madagascar from a lighthearted buddy adventure comedy into a tragic meditation on mortality, isolation, regret, and the need for connection. If true, the entire narrative becomes darker and profoundly poignant, depicting a dying animal's fantasy of...
Now, listen. Listen here. It makes sense a little bit, but like this the only part of that really got me, you know, messed up when I was little. If they all got separated, where would be Melvin and Marvin and Gloria when all went to? As we speaking, would they just still be in the sea right now to this day? What if they never went in the island the whole time? What if my theory was right? This is Marvin dreamed the whole time. Could be that. It could be that. But hey, you know, this is my theory. Y'all tell me in the comments if y'all believe that, my niggas.
Friendship and belonging as he faces his final moments. By the way, if you're enjoying this so far, I post videos like this all the time. Subscribing would really help out.
Yeah.
Pure belief. In Kung Fu Panda, the legendary and supposedly unstoppable Wuchi fingerhold isn't actually a martial arts technique at all. It only works because people believe it works, making it a psychological phenomenon rather than a physical move. Po has never been formally taught the proper mechanics of the Wuxi fingerhold. He never observes the move performed correctly by a master. The move appears to be a chi explosion of mystical energy, rather than a physical martial arts technique. Po's entire training focuses on physical martial arts, not mystical chi manipulation. Every time the move is used successfully, enemies display visible fear and psychological breakdown before execution. The move works perfectly whenever enemies believe in its power and dread its effects. Master Oogway explicitly states the move requires belief to function properly. This connects directly to the film's themes about inner strength, confidence,
so basically,
and self-fulfilling.
is it like you basically like the villain gotta believe is that's gonna happen to them or something like that. So if the villain know it's not gonna, if they know something that's not gonna happen to them, then it must will never happen to them in general. But in how the way I looked at this, and I did have a theory when I was watching Kung Fu Panda. Been had this, but I've been wanting to wait for somebody to finally say this. Thank you for finally a nice theory. Whole time I think in Kung Fu Panda the whole time is really a nigga that really trying to be like, a Kung Fu Panda, like trying to be the best person, the better version of himself. Want to be, you know how like, everybody want to be a NFL player, basketball player, or a famous YouTuber, or a nice good rapper, like all of us trying to be, somebody known and stuff like that. I feel like Kung Fu Panda is like one of those dudes that like finally, once you meet your idol, they always say, you don't want to never meet your idol in person and stuff like that, blah 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 blah, and stuff like that. But he finally meet his idol, and he learned that like the traits of meeting your idol is like, damn, bro, like, I mean, they cool, bro, but they really didn't want me at Friendport, because you know how Shifu was like, that man didn't want that man. Master Shifu did not want that man at there. He did not. He did not fuck with Poe in the beginning. He did never with that man. After to Master Ure said he's the chosen one. Blah 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 blah. And because he already see that that dude is gonna be the chosen one. That's gonna be the dude. Blah blah blah. That's gonna be him later down the line. That's gonna be his dojo when you leave. When you leave and stuff like that. So then he finally get to the top. Boom. He finally beat his idol. Finally get to the top. Now he's doing what he's doing, doing his big stuff. He's doing him. Until how everybody got a hater or somebody that bring him down. That was Tai Long. Tai Long, it was supposed to be Tai Long. Tai Long was supposed to be with the starting five. It was supposed to be the thing. Tai Long was supposed to be it, but he destroyed the city, blah 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 blah, and that's what I'm saying for Tai Long. Don't think it's gonna be the best to meet your idols. That's what I said. It's never good to meet your idols. I mean, I'm still want to meet my idols because shout out to them, but sometimes your idols don't want to fuck with you how like you fuck with them. And Tai Long really learned that all with Master Ishu. Didn't want to do that to him. And he realized that he would never got the potential to be the Dragon Warrior. I was like, damn, bro, that's crazy. But that's my little assumption or theory. So, yeah.
Prophecies. This theory reframes the Wuxi fingerhold as a psychological rather than mystical phenomenon, suggesting the entire Kung Fu Panda universe operates on placebo-like principles where belief shapes reality.
Or that it go like when I was watching number 2 and number 3 saying, I think it's like everything had to be like a physical mind thing that you thinking that you could have powers and stuff like that.
Adds philosophical depth and self-aware commentary to the martial arts narrative, explaining why the film's secret ingredient is literally nothing, because the power was always internal. Tai Lung won. A disturbing theory suggests that Tai Lung actually succeeded in his ultimate mission. He defeated the system and proved his points were valid, even though the films frame it as his loss. Tai Lung's entire existence revolves around proving that the Dragon Scroll contains real, tangible power. He finally obtains the scroll he spent years pursuing and discovers it is completely blank. Poe reveals the truth that there is no secret ingredient. The scroll contains no magical power whatsoever. Tai Lung's life's goal and motivation shatters in that moment of revelation. But this moment actually proves Tai Lung's fundamental point. Shifu's entire system of Dragon Warrior selection is meaningless. Tai Lung has defeated the physical warriors through superior combat skill. He has also defeated the prophecy itself by proving the scroll is empty. His defeat by Poe actually represents Poe accepting the same existential truth Tai Lung discovered. This theory reframes the ending as morally and philosophically ambiguous. Tai Lung's traditional defeat isn't his failure, it's actually his success in proving the system hollow and empty. The theory adds nihilistic depth and philosophical complexity to the Kung Fu Panda franchise, challenging conventional hero narrative conventions and suggesting that the villain was correct about systemic emptiness. Tim's dream. Tim's entire adventure with the boss baby might never have happened. It could be an elaborate dream or imagination produced while his parents were actually in the process of giving birth to his real brother. The film opens with Tim's parents explicitly asking if he'd like to have a baby brother. Tim falls asleep while wondering where babies come from, setting up a dream context. A marble machine visible in Tim's room transitions to a giant baby-making machine in the sky, displaying classic dream logic. Tim has explicitly stated he...
I only watched this movie about 3 times. 2 to 3 times, at best. At best, I only know about 2 or 3 times. Like, to be honest with you, I probably forgot about the whole memo about Boss Baby. Not gonna hold you. Just kind of nice to keep it a buck with you. You know how long that movie been out? Yeah, nigga, I was in high school when this movie came out.
Doesn't want a baby brother, which motivates wish fulfillment fantasy. After the adventure, his parents tell Tim he has a huge imagination regarding the events he describes. Tim is grounded and ordered to stay with the baby, but this punishment only exists within his dream. When Tim wakes up, his mother has given birth to a real baby present in his home. This real baby is a separate character from the boss baby who returns to Baby Corp. The ending shows Tim waking to embrace a genuine brother, suggesting the fantasy was his coping mechanism for accepting life change. Parents would never accept the memory wipe explanation the film provides. They would inherently remember their own biological son. This theory reframes the film as a psychological fantasy about sibling rivalry acceptance and emotional maturation. Tim's imagination transforms his anxiety about a new sibling into an adventure.
I had some thinking about now I'm thinking about this now. What if the whole time the parents had a baby? You know how like your parents get like another baby or something like that? What if that like jealousy and loneliness because your parents don't show you that much love? Now they showing a new baby more love than you. And I'm pulling that card, but hey, it happened to the best of us, man. You know, everybody don't get the love, but hey, I got love though. Not to show shade, you know, but I got my love though, so I ain't tripping.
Narrative, allowing him to process and ultimately accept the major life change. Jamie's ancestry. In Rise of the Guardian.
Ooh, Rise of the Guardian. I should have watched it for the Christmas special. Something told me I should have watched it, but I was down there worrying about YouTube. I ain't lying to you, saying I'll be so trying to hit all my goals, and I don't even be worrying about, you know, I don't even be worrying about watching movies no more nowadays. I catch them when I, you know, on my break and shit.
Fans believe Jamie Bennett might actually be a genetic descendant of Jack Frost's sister, which explains their seemingly predetermined connection and spiritual bond. Jack had a sister in his human life before becoming a spirit immortal. Jack told his sister things about wonder and fun before dying, establishing a foundational relationship. Jamie plays an identity.
You know what's crazy? How did he die anyways? The Jack Frost dude died anyways and turned to immortal if he was a human at one point. I don't know.
Identical narrative role in Jack's spirit life, as his sister did in his human life. Jamie's physical features, including light hair color and facial structure, resemble Jack's human appearance. Both characters have similar coloring, hairstyles, and expressive facial features. The film's directors acknowledged it as certainly a possibility, but intentionally didn't fully explore it. The narrative pattern repeats identically across centuries, showing Jack saving a child through wonder and belief. This theory adds a poetic, cyclical structure to Jack's story. He spiritually reconnects with his sister's bloodline legacy through her descendant centuries later. It suggests themes of eternal recurrence, spiritual inheritance across generations, and the persistence of love beyond death. Reincarnated soldiers. The 4 penguin characters from Madagascar might be reincarnated.
That's a hard one right there. Now, like, I wouldn't say they reincarnation of soldiers. Now, that's a good one. Now, I'm not gonna hold you. You did a good take. I'll give you an A for that one. But you have to get that A minus though, my nigga. Low key, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. Like, I would have seen like there's some spies, like, and planted like mutagens penguins. You know how like the Ninja Turtles take some mutagen and blah 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 blah. What if that's them? They agents. They got stuck, or agents. They got transferred to penguin bodies, and they never could find their bodies because their body got what's it called? Lost in the lab and stuff like that. When the lab got exploded, some stuff like that. because like any other no other animals could, like the humans can't like even hear what's going on and stuff like that. Like how how that scene with that grandma and Alice was fighting, they were throwing hands back to back, they were swinging back to back and stuff like that. Like I really think, not gonna hold you, that the penguins are lab of scientists, well, were agents, and it was like test agents and stuff like that. It was supposed to be a test for them to go inside a penguin mind, with a mind to be inside a penguin and stuff like that. Somebody broke in and they destroyed all their bodies, and they stuck as penguin for the rest of their life. That's what I think it is. Okay.
World War II soldiers, as evidenced by their military rank names, combat expertise, and strategic organization far exceeding typical animal capability. Each penguin has a military rank name. Skipper serves as commanding officer, alongside Private Kowalski, the engineer, and Rico, the weapons specialist. Kowalski builds complex weapons and employs military tactics like a professional military engineer. Rico functions as an explosives and weapons expert with precision and expertise. Their organization precisely mimics military hierarchy, command structure, and strategic planning. The films contain numerous military references, formations, and protocol. They possess advanced survival and combat skills far beyond typical animal ability. This theory transforms cartoon penguins into metaphorical soldiers, carrying forward warrior spirits across lifetimes. It's whimsical, but explains their unusual competence, military discipline, and organizational sophistication that exceeds normal animal behavior. Barry's son. An unusual cross-universe theory suggests that Freddie Benson from Nickelodeon's iCarly is actually the biological son.
Wait a minute, no, son. No, 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 no. I know you're not gonna pull that card. You was definitely about to pull some shit like this. Hell no. You're not about to hit me with some random ass bullshit that say, yeah, Nickelodeon, like that's Barry's son the whole time and blah 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 blah. So you telling me the B dude got something with the human? Impossible. I see why old dude was mad. I'd be mad too.
Of Barry B. Benson from B Movie and the human Vanessa, making him part B. Barry B. Benson explicitly courts and pursues Vanessa throughout B Movie. Freddie Benson shares the identical last name Benson as Vanessa Benson. Freddie's mother on iCarly is portrayed as extremely protective and secretive about his background. The theory implies something tragic happened to Barry, the B father. Nathan Kress, the voice actor for Freddie, humorously endorsed this theory on Twitter, giving it fun fan acknowledgement. Freddie would be genetically part B, which could explain certain unusual characteristics. This theory represents fan creativity connecting different animated universes through character name analysis and remarkable actor acknowledgement. It's notable because it received validation from the show's star, making it unique among these theories and demonstrating how fans...
You know what? You got that. You got that. I'm not gonna hold you. That last one, you got that, my brother. I'm gonna just let you have that. I'm gonna let you have that one. But anyways, I'm gonna see y'all when I see y'all. I'm on the road to 500, and I'm out then.